There was a trader who made millions before most people understood what trading even was. He predicted crashes. He read the market like a language. And at one point, he was considered the greatest trader in the world. His name was Jesse Livermore. But his story is not just about success. It's about something far more important: discipline and what happens when you lose it. Because Jesse Livermore didn't just make millions, he also lost everything more than once. And that is why his story matters. Not because he was perfect, but because he was human. Jesse Livermore started young, very young. At just 14 years old, he was already working in what were known as bucket shops. These were places where people could bet on stock price movements without actually owning the stock. And this is where Jesse discovered something unique. He had a natural ability to read price movements. He started noticing patterns, trends, reactions, things most people ignored. And slowly, he began to win, consistently, not by guessing, but by observing. He didn't follow tips. He didn't listen to others. He watched the market, and the market spoke to him. By the time he was 15, he had made enough money to support himself, and by 16, he was already being banned from bucket shops. Why? Because he was too good. He wasn't gambling, he was understanding, and that made him dangerous. But success at a young age comes with a cost. Confidence. And confidence, if not controlled, becomes overconfidence. Jesse moved from bucket shops to real markets. Now the stakes were bigger, the money was real, the environment was different, and for the first time, he started losing. Not because he forgot how to trade, but because the game had changed. In bucket shops, price movements were simple. In real markets, they were influenced by more factors, more noise, more manipulation, and Jesse had to adapt, and he did. Over time, he refined his approach. He learned patience. He learned timing. He learned something that most traders never learn. It's not about being right. It's about being right at the right time. This understanding led to one of his biggest moments, the panic of 1907. While most people were buying, Jesse was selling. He saw weakness, he saw pressure building, and he acted. As the market collapsed, he made millions. Not by following the crowd, but by going against it. This moment made him famous. He was no longer just a trader, he was a legend. But success has a pattern, and that pattern is dangerous. Win, gain confidence, increase risk, lose control. Jesse made money, lost it, made it again, lost it again, over and over. Not because he didn't understand the market, but because discipline is harder to maintain than skill. At one point, he made $100 million in early 1900s terms, an unimaginable amount, equivalent to billions today, and yet he still lost it. Why? Because knowing how to trade is not the same as controlling yourself. Jesse himself once said, "The market is never wrong. Opinions often are." He understood this. But understanding is not enough. Execution matters, and execution depends on discipline. One of his most famous trades came during the 1929 crash, the Great Depression. While the world believed the market would continue rising, Jesse saw something different: weakness, instability, unsustainable growth, and he began short selling. As the market crashed, he made enormous profits. Some say over $100 million again, in one of the biggest financial events in history. He was right, perfectly right. But even then, the story didn't end in victory, because the market is not what destroys traders. Their behavior does. Jesse began to deviate from his own rules. He started taking positions based on opinion, not confirmation. He became less patient, more aggressive, and slowly, the discipline that built his success started fading. Losses returned, and this time they were heavier, because they were backed by confidence, and confidence without control is risk. Jesse Livermore went bankrupt multiple times, not once, not twice, multiple times, each time rebuilding, each time falling again. His life became a cycle: success, loss, recovery, collapse. And this cycle is something every trader should understand, because it still happens today. Different markets, different platforms, same psychology. In the end, Jesse Livermore had everything: money, fame, skill, experience. But the one thing that matters most in trading is not knowledge, it is control. And control is difficult to maintain over time. His story ended in tragedy, but his lessons remain. He proved that the market rewards patience, punishes ego, and exposes weakness. No matter how experienced you are, no matter how much you know, the market will always test your discipline again and again and again. Because trading is not just a financial activity. It is a psychological battle, and the greatest opponent is not the market. It is yourself. Jesse Livermore mastered the market, but like many traders, he struggled to master himself. And that is why his story is important, because it reminds us of something simple. Being right is not enough. Being disciplined is everything. This is capital era.